What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome on in. It's 1TS Daily live here at One True Sport. How's it going? It's Monday, November 18th, 2024. I'm your host, Zack Heydorn from Brass Ring Media and SI. Always love being here every day, 11 Eastern, but especially Mondays. The show gets me out of the Monday, slump. At least I'm in a bit of a Monday slump typically until around now on Mondays, but we're here. We're here to talk wrestling. We're here to get our week set for the wacky world of wrestling. And boy, there's a lot to get to and some really interesting stuff to get to on the show today. If you are watching on YouTube, hello. Thank you so much for being here. We do appreciate it. Thanks for hitting play on the show and joining us live. Do me a favor and hit like on the little YouTube video that you're watching. Helps us out big time if you can do that. If you're watching on Twitter, hello. Twitter X. Hi. Thank you for hitting play there as well. You can hit like in your own way. You guys know how to do that. I don't think I have to coach you up on that one. But thank you in advance for doing that. It helps out the show big time. We're here with 1TS Daily live every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Usually right around now, right around 10 o'clock or 11 Eastern. Sometimes it gets as late as 11:30 Eastern, depending on, the machinations of the day. But regardless, we're here every day of the week to get you your wrestling fix in a quick dose, right? 25, 30 minutes, fun discussion. We get that you may have other things to do. I understand. I could talk to you for 3 hours. I mean, there's no question about that. But get that you got other things to do. So yeah, we just kind of try to keep it in a very manageable 25, 30-minute show once per day, and give you a little fix. So today we're gonna talk a lot of news. We are going to talk Monday Night Raw tonight and preview that show, and we'll also talk a little bit of SmackDown from last Friday because obviously there was a key happening on that show that I definitely want to get to. Well, a couple key happenings on this show that I definitely want to get to. So the live chats are open. They are open. We already have people filing in. If you want to have a specific question answered by me, or you want to say, hey, Zach, talk about this topic, or you just want to comment on what we're talking about, please do in the live chat. Use that thing. As I always say, it's my favorite part of the show every day is talking with you guys. So definitely get on in there and mix it up. If you want to make sure that I read your comment or question or topic, leave a super chat. That's the best way to do that. And you can guarantee that your question, comment, or topic is addressed on the show. Sean's already in the chat. Making it sting a little more today. Sean says here, Zach, what is up, my friend? Our pack had to beat you yesterday. LOL. Goodness gracious. Sometimes I don't know why I'm a fan of the Chicago Bears. You know what I mean? Like, it's never just one play. If you're not an NFL fan, I apologize because I'm going to rant here for just about 30 seconds. Yesterday, they missed a kick. Or they didn't miss a kick. They got a kick blocked, the field goal blocked to win it. And that would have been the first time, I think, in like 4 or 5 years that the Bears beat the Packers, which is obviously a major rivalry game for Chicago. Didn't happen, but it's never one game. It's never one play. I thought that our coaching was played a little defensive, a little scared. Since when do the Bears not need yards on a field goal kick? Like, get the yards. Also, I would have gone for it on 4th and 3, Sean. I would have just said, hey, we're going to try to win this game right here. If we get it on 4th and 3, Jordan Love doesn't get the ball back, and that's that. That's what I would have done. So it's never just one play. But boy, that is disappointing. But Sean, congrats, I suppose. I can say it gritted through my teeth. Congrats. We'll see you again at the end of the year. We will see you again. Hopefully the Bears season still matters by then. I don't know. The wheels are falling off this thing. The only saving grace yesterday is that Caleb Williams had a good game. So there you go. All right. Thank you, Sean. As Sean says here now. Anyway, back to wrestling. Yes, back to wrestling. All right. SmackDown. Friday night. I thought it was a fun episode of SmackDown. I really did. The first thing is Shinsuke Nakamura back in WWE. He attacks LA Knight, clearly setting up a feud for LA Knight for the United States Championship. Look, I like this. I think this is a good spot for Shinsuke Nakamura. Look, Nakamura is not going to be anything more than this right now, or probably ever. He is a role player. He is a player that you use in these kind of situations, and so I think this is his level. This is his level. Maybe he gets a run with the U.S. title. They could have LA Knight. They can have LA Knight chase Shinsuke Nakamura for a while, or if they want to, move LA Knight, into a more prominent babyface role, up with like near where Randy Orton is. You could try that, I suppose. But for Shinsuke, I think this is his water level, and I'm excited to see what they do with this feud. There's no reason to think that. There's just no reason to think that he can be anything more than this. But at the same time, there's no reason to think that this feud is going to be bad by any means. I think LA Knight is going to be able to do enough talking for the both of them on the microphone, and I think they can have a good WWE style match together. So I'm all in on this. I was good to see Shinsuke back, and I think Shinsuke, can, if nothing else, he can deliver depth to the roster, right? He can deliver depth to whatever brand he's on. And that's good. That's good, especially when you talk about shows going 3 hours and that's when you need depth. That's when you need your roster to step up. And I think this is a good place for that to happen. We did get the brackets for the Women's United States Championship tournament that's starting up. That will crown the first ever WWE Women's U.S. Champion. The the brackets are interesting because for a couple reasons. One is when the tournament was announced and when the titles were announced, it was announced as if it was going to be like a mix of Raw and SmackDown stars. There's only SmackDown stars in the tournament, so we will. There's going to be 4 triple threat matches that are essentially quarterfinal matches. Then we get to the semis, and then we get to the finals, of course. And so the first one was Bayley, Candice LeRae, and B-Fab. Bayley wins this one and moves on. Bianca Belair, Chelsea Green, and Blair Davenport. That's your next one. Jade Cargill, Michin, and Piper Niven. That is your third quarterfinal. And then Naomi, Tiffany Stratton, and Elektra Lopez. That is your fourth. So this is interesting. As Sean says here in our chat here, does Bianca Belair need to be in the U.S. title tournament? Just feels strange. Don't need this other title. Well, we absolutely don't need this other championship. There's no question about this. Everybody in this, or not everybody, but any reasonable winner of this tournament should be in the world title picture. Bayley. Okay. Okay, she's chasing a secondary title now. Okay. Bianca Belair, same thing. Tiffany Stratton, you have the women's Money in the Bank. So, do you need to be going after this? Jade Cargill, same thing. I guess she makes more sense than anybody just because, she hasn't had that singles title yet or a run at that world title level. So I guess she makes the most sense. But at the same time, we know that she's probably going to be positioned as a bigger star than a secondary women's title. So that's interesting. But the way this all shakes out to me with Bayley, being in that Bailey being in that slot already, advancing to the semifinals. On the other side, I think Jade Cargill, there's a good chance that she comes out of that as a contender in the finals for this tournament. And I don't know. I may even put the United States Championship on Jade Cargill. I think it'd be really bad for her just to lose this tournament at that point in time. And so you could either do Jade Cargill versus Bianca in the final. I mean, like that could be an interesting little dynamic to eventually get to the Jade Cargill Bianca Belair feud. I also think, just a straight up Bailey against Jade Cargill would work just fine in the finals. If you want to go outside the box, I think Chelsea Green as a heel opposite Jade Cargill makes a lot of sense too. But when I look at these brackets, it just seems to me that it's a setup for Jade Cargill to win this tournament, unless they really go outside the box and it's somebody like Elektra Lopez who they really try to make, or somebody like Blair Davenport who they really try to make. Other than that, this screams Jade Cargill to me. Yeah, I'm excited for these matches. But Sean says here, and he's right, stop with the triple threat matches too. Jeez, so many triple threat matches. It's like, why have the quarterfinal matches, but just remove somebody. All right. Does Bianca Belair need to be in this tournament? No. Does Tiffany Stratton? No. Does Michin? No. Like just shave it down one person. And then there you go. You go from there and you have your regular singles matches. It's crazy. It's crazy the crutch that triple threats are for WWE and for Paul Levesque in particular. Like he seems to really like to lean on those things when in need. Okay, and then the other major happening from SmackDown, as we all know, is at the end of the show. After fighting off the new bloodline, Roman Reigns sits down in that chair, calls the wise man Paul Heyman, and the phone number is out of service. It's disconnected. What does that mean? I thought that was awesome. I thought that was just a really good piece of storytelling in this bloodline storyline, and it provides all that more in terms of anticipation for, Heyman's eventual return, but also puts a layer of doubt in the mind of the viewer as to what side is he going to be on. Is he still on Roman's side? Is he not? Because Roman didn't show up when Heyman was getting beat up and abused by this new bloodline faction. So, caffeine, brought to you by Starbucks. The doubt that one little segment creates and the intrigue that it enhances is really fun. So is he with the new bloodline now? Like, I wouldn't think so because of what they did to him. But like an abused puppy, maybe he just keeps coming back. Maybe he's with The Rock, maybe he's, jumped Roman Reigns, or something to that end. Or maybe it's just nothing and the phone is out of service because the bloodline broke it all those weeks ago. And maybe it's just as simple as that. So, I don't know. But the bottom line is this is good storytelling. It's small stuff. But it's stuff that matters. And I think it ultimately just creates anticipation for Paul Heyman to return to the bloodline faction. And that is going to be fun as we head into the final stretch here in the build to Survivor Series and the build to War Games. We also had Bronson Reed officially join Team Jacob Fatu, Solo Sikoa, and the new bloodline for War Games. Man, I don't know. I mean, I think in the moment he looked fine as a part of that group. There's no question about it. But it is super random, right? Like it's very random that he would join that group and kind of cross-pollinate stories that way. you have to assume that tonight on Raw, Seth Rollins is going to join, the Bloodline faction with Jimmy, Jay, Roman, and Sammy. So you've added now 2 players, but they're not really involved in the Bloodline stuff. And I would have kept that totally separate. I think, Sean, I would have kept that separate. I just would have either gone with the Bloodline straight up in a War Games match, 4-on-4, or I would have added people to the match that are clearly involved in the match itself or in the feud itself. So maybe I don't know. Obviously, if they could get Rock, I'm sure they would. But it just seems to me, or even look, as much as I wouldn't have wanted to see Cody Rhodes in this match either, but he makes more sense than Seth Rollins does at this point. He makes more sense than Bronson Reed does, just because of his connectivity to the story. So yeah, I don't know. I don't love this. I mean, but at the same time, I think that now that they've made this decision, it looked fine. And you got to think, when I see Bronson Reed in a War Games match, I'm thinking what everybody else is thinking, and that's Tsunami off the top of the cage. I wonder if they can pull that off. I think that's the spot that everybody's going to be looking for. I think that's the spot that people are going to want to see. And that certainly is going to make the matchup very interesting. But yeah, it's a little out of place in terms of just the characters and in terms of the storyline itself. So we'll see. We'll see where they go with that. All right, let's talk a little bit of let's talk some news that hit or that continues to hit from over the weekend and to right now. Raw on Netflix. All of the premiere information, the date and location has been announced by WWE. So we know it's January 6th, and it's official inside the Intuit Dome in Los Angeles. That's the new stadium where the Clippers play. Beautiful looking stadium. If you haven't seen the stadium, like, my gosh, like, take a look at some pictures inside and outside. Like, whew, that thing is sharp. Travis Scott is going to be in attendance. He's rumored to have going to be the artist that is responsible for the intro song for Raw on Netflix. Tickets for the event are going to go on sale on Friday, so you can get those. If you are in the LA area, if you watched Jake Paul against Mike Tyson over the weekend on Friday night, sorry, first of all, I watched it too and was disappointed, but also I didn't know I knew what to expect, and I think a lot of people did. But there's obviously like major streaming issues for Netflix, and WWE has reportedly been assured by Netflix that the technical issues will be kept to a minimum when Raw, is live there. I think, look, Tyson and Paul did about 60 million. Did about 60 million people. Obviously, if Raw does that, I don't think they're going to care if I don't think they're going to care that there's technical issues. They should, but I don't think they will. So obviously, there won't be that kind of traffic for Raw, but something to think about. We'll see again when Netflix airs some NFL games, but this is big. This is big. I mean, this shows that WWE is going to make this a very big deal. And I think they're going, we reported on Sports Illustrated last week that Becky Lynch is looking to probably come back at that time for that show, for that event. John Cena is going to be there for that. You have to assume Roman Reigns is going to be on that show. Cody, you're looking at a major show here for WWE that first week. And I think, the venue, the celebrity crossover with Travis Scott and more, indicates that pretty clearly. Becky Lynch, speaking of her, she kind of has made her first, comment on the what her future looks like for her in ring. She said this at the Vulture Festival over the weekend. She said, quote, "If you think I'm going to go out with Dominic slamming a cage door in my face, that's definitely not going to happen." So there you go. So that, in conjunction with PW Insider reporting that WWE expects Lynch to come back ahead of Raw on Netflix, like TikTok, I think the clock is on. I think the watch is on for Becky returning to WWE, and that's a big boost. That's a big boost to the show, to the women's division, to the overall star power of the company. Especially once again as they go towards 2 3-hour shows instead of 2 2-hour shows, which is where they're at right now. You're going to need all the stars you can get, and so it's important to have that. And so they're really going to be wanting Becky Lynch back into the fold. All right, let's preview Monday Night Raw for tonight. It is a taped Raw, so they taped this last week, and here are the matches on the show. The announced card: Seth Rollins versus Bronson Reed. So that match was agreed to last week on Raw, and we get that payoff and that rematch tonight on the show. Rey Mysterio and Zelina Vega will face Chad Gable and Ivy Nile. The War Raiders will face Dominic Mysterio and Carlito. Braun Breaker will defend the Intercontinental Championship against Sheamus, and Liv Morgan will be on the show. So 2 key matches here that we need to just talk about quickly. Seth Rollins versus Bronson Reed. Obviously, we saw this match already, and I thought it was a good match. Seth won it, and Bronson Reed has kind of been on a warpath since then. So that's how he kind of got the rematch. This has been a nice feud, and we've talked about for a couple weeks now, months now, of like WWE clearly enhancing its television main events with feuds that you'd ordinarily see them like put on pay-per-view instead. Like Bronson Reed versus Seth Rollins, the rematch, like that's a pay-per-view match if you want it to be. And Survivor Series is 2 weeks away. But it's important for WWE to flex and to put on television main events that people really care about. That's why you're seeing this match on the show. There's also obvious, storyline points that they want to hit with this, which we'll get to in a minute. But this is an example of putting big matches on Raw instead of pay-per-view, because they're just as important, if not more, these days. Same thing with Braun Breaker against Sheamus. Intercontinental Championship match. We're 2 weeks out from a pay-per-view, but this match happens on Raw. Now, that doesn't mean that they won't do a rematch. They might. So I don't know, but either way, big match. I expect Breaker to obviously retain the title here, but I'm also expecting to see a really fun match. Like, this is going to be one where I kind of put the phone down, put the computer down, like stop working for a bit and just watch, just soak in. Because look, Sheamus, and I write this for Brass Ring Media all the time, almost every week, that Sheamus has a match in my Raw column. Sheamus doesn't have bad TV matches anymore. He has the formula down for a good television match, and I'm excited to see what Braun Breaker can do within that formula. I think these guys are going to beat the tar out of each other in this one. So we'll see. We'll see if how that plays out. But yeah, Braun Breaker to win for sure. And then Seth Rollins versus Bronson Reed. Seth's going to take the L here. I mean, first of all, can you really have Bronson Reed lose again heading into his big moment as part of Team New Bloodline? I don't think so. I think you have to have him win this match. I also think you have to have him win because you need Seth to be weakened here, up against Bronson Reed and the New Bloodline. You have to have him show that he needs help so that the alignment with the Bloodline and Roman Reigns again makes sense. Like, to me, you absolutely need that connective tissue within your story. So I think Bronson Reed wins this thanks to interference from the bloodline, the new bloodline, excuse me. And then you finally get Seth going, okay, I understand what's at stake here. I understand that I need to put, my differences with Roman Reigns aside so I can get revenge. And there you go. That's how I think they get through this. Sean kind of met me right on there. Do the bloodline people interfere? And that's how they get Seth joining the bloodline. Yeah, as I said, I think that's exactly the way they go. And it makes the most sense. Like, right, you got to give Seth with Seth last week being so definitive about, hey, I'm not joining up with Roman Reigns ever again, ever, period. Right? You have to give him a very good reason to want to join up. That's key. That's important to put that nugget in there. After you worked so hard last week to tell everybody, no, it's not going to happen. So they need to work at that, and they can use this match as a reason and a way to get that done. Guys, time flies. We're done. Thanks so much for hitting play on the show. Thanks for being here live. I appreciate it. Always fun hearing from you guys. Always fun being in the live chat and chatting it up. So I'll see everybody tomorrow. If you want more from me and my work and our team at Brass Ring Media, check us out on YouTube. We have a YouTube channel. That's where all of our work lives. That's where all of our live show live. You can catch us live almost every day of the week. So subscribe and hit the notification button so you know when we're live. Also, we put all of our live shows out as audio podcasts. So if YouTube's just not your thing, or you just don't, have a chance to kind of get there, or it's just not a platform that you use, you can just listen to us as a podcast. And that's really simple. Just subscribe to Brass Ring Media, and you can catch our shows every single day of the week. Cool. We have a Substack newsletter as well. That's where our written work lives. That gets updated every single day. And I just dropped over the weekend my Wrestling Observer Hall of Fame ballot for 2024 with who I voted for and why. You guys can check that out. Again, subscribe totally for free and get some what I think is very good content, not just from me, but from the whole team every single day right to your inbox. Cool. Awesome. Thanks so much, you guys. Have a wonderful, wonderful Monday. We'll see you tomorrow right here, 11 a.m. Eastern for One TS Daily at One True Sport. I'm Zack Heydorn. See y'all real soon.